Okay, so there are two types of sequences. In algebra, we're only going to be concerned with the arithmetic sequences. Um, there's also geometric, but we're not gonna talk about geometric. The thing that you need to know though is arithmetic sequences are only with addition and subtraction. That's important because the geometric sequences are multiplication and division, but we are only going to be dealing with arithmetic. Also, you need to know a little bit of terminology. I could ask you for the common difference. As you may remember, or I hope that you remember, difference is just a fancy way of saying subtraction, but common difference is subtraction or addition. It's just whatever the pattern of the sequence is. Okay? And then last but not least, you have to also know the formula. Now, I will always give you this formula on a quiz and a test. So luckily, it's one that we don't have to memorize, but the more practice problems you do with this, it'll probably come more natural. So for the equation, this is the equation. So a to the nth equals a sub 1, or not a to the nth, a sub n equals a sub 1 plus d parentheses n minus 1. Now this looks really complicated. I promise you it's not. So if let's just take this one right here, a sub 1. A sub 1 is just the first term in the sequence. And then the d over here is going to be our common difference. Okay, so we're going to be using all of this here in a minute. Let's go ahead and jump to some examples. All right, so if they want us to find the common difference, we're just finding the pattern. Now remember, it has to be addition or subtraction. So to get from 21 to 13, I subtract 8. To get to 13 to 5, I subtract 8. 5 to negative 3, I subtract 8. So my common difference is a negative 8. All right, we're finding the common difference again. This time I'm adding 7. And once again, that is addition or subtraction, so my common difference would be 7. Find the next three terms. All right, so I've got to figure out the pattern first. So to get from 82 to 76, I subtract 6. 76 to 70, I subtract 6. Subtract 6. So to find the next three, I do 64 minus 6, which is 58. 58 minus 6, which is 52. 52 minus 6, which is 46. That's it. So my answer would be this. All right, now let's get into like the algebra stuff. So the algebra is where we're writing a linear equation. All right, so first I've got to figure out, so let's start off actually by writing our equation. So a sub n equals a sub 1 plus d n minus 1. Okay. So we need to find this a sub 1 and the d. So I'm going to go ahead and put that over here. A sub 1 is easy. It's just the first term. So now we got to find that common difference. So to get from 9 to 13, we add 4. 13 to 17, we're adding 4. 17 to 21, we're adding 4. So my common difference is 4. Now let's go ahead and plug in. Remember, we're going to plug the 9 in here and the 4 in here. Everything else stays the same. So a sub n equals 9 plus 4 n minus 1. Now, when we're simplifying expressions or equations, we always distribute first. So 4 times n is 4n. 4 times a negative 1 is negative 4. Bring down your a sub n, bring down your 9 and your plus. Okay, and then now we're just going to combine like terms. I have a positive 4n, and then I have 9 minus 4, which is a positive 5. And that's it, y'all. That is my linear equation. Now this is helpful because as you saw, we could find the next three terms real easy, right? No big deal. You're just subtracting 6. However, if they ask us for like the 80th term, I don't want to be sitting here all day, you know, just adding 6 to numbers. So the good thing is you can just find the linear equation. So I'm going to rewrite it. And if they want us to find the 80th term, we're just going to plug in 80 where we see an n. Remember, when we plug in, we use parentheses. So then 4 times 80 is 320. And 320 plus 5 is 325. That is my 80th number. Let's do one more like that. So we're going to find the equation. So let's go ahead and write the equation first. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus d n minus 1. So we need two things. We need our a sub 1 and our d. A sub 1's real easy. It's 30. Our d we got to figure out real quick. So I'm subtracting 4 this time. So my d is a negative 4. Let's go ahead and start plugging in. A sub n equals 30 plus a negative 4. And then n minus 1. Y'all know that I hate double signs, okay? I don't like them. So before we even get trucking, let's go ahead and change that. A positive and a negative is just a negative. Just so I don't get confused, I'm going to rewrite it. All right. Now I'm set to go. So I can go ahead and start distributing. Negative 4 times n is negative 4n. A negative and a negative is a positive. 4 times 1 is 4. Okay, here's my n. It's a negative 4n. And then I have 30 plus 4, which is a positive 34. So there's my linear equation. And this time, why don't we find the 100th term? Why not? Okay, so we would take our equation, which is up here. So a sub 100 equals negative 4 times 100 plus 34. Okay, so a sub 100 equals negative 4 times 100 is negative 400. And negative 400 plus 34. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm grabbing my calculator right now because I don't want to make an error. So a sub 100 equals negative 366. So that's my 100th term in this sequence. And last thing before I'll let you go, make sure that makes sense. So if I look at the top, all of my numbers were decreasing, so that makes sense that we're now in the way negative numbers. If I would have gotten a positive 366, well, there's no way. My numbers are decreasing. How did you all of a sudden jump up? So use a little bit of common sense too, okay?